But, I think this is some decent news coming out of Tulsa. And all things considered, we have to count the small victories. But looking at the case of Terrence Crutcher, the officer has been charged with first-degree manslaughter. And this is, unfortunately, it is a small victory. We have to, because there have been plenty of occasions where officers are not even indicted. But the AP announced a few hours ago that the officer who was involved in the shooting will be charged with first-degree manslaughter. And this is all a result of the video. I mean, imagine if the video had not been released. Imagine if there was no dash cam. Imagine if there was, because the story that came directly from the officers on the scene was completely different than what was shown on the video. And so it's just a testament to the fact that there should be police cams, dash cams, body cams, every type of cam possible, because it not only helps in situations where police officers do things that are wrong, but it also helps police officers when they've done nothing wrong. And so I just imagine that people should want to absolutely have this type of access to videos. So it's not a conviction. It just simply means that more than likely they would go to trial. I doubt very seriously that the officer would just plead out and plead guilty. So it's very likely that this will go to a trial, which goes directly to what I was saying the other day, right? If this goes to trial, the perception that the community has of Terrence Crutcher becomes very important, because it's not only a trial against the officer involved, but it's also a trial of Terrence Crutcher. And you saw the other day where people were floating this idea that he was on PCP and that he was on some kind of drugs. Now, thankfully, that narrative never made it into the mainstream. However, the narrative came directly from a Tulsa newspaper, which, whether or not it makes it to the mainstream news, that affects the immediate pool of potential jurors. And so, I mean, of course, it is all up to the prosecutors and people involved to make sure that this is a fair case. But we've seen so many times where people have had their reputations smeared, and by smearing them, they can get a hung jury or they can get a full-blown acquittal. And so this is why it's important for people to fight back against these narratives that are spun to undermine. But we have probably months before they actually get to a trial, if not a year or more. But as of today, the officer involved in the shooting of Terrence Crutcher has been charged with first-degree manslaughter. And so that's definitely something to, honestly, it's something to celebrate in light of the fact that so many instances officers completely get off. And in this case, Officer Betty Shelby, I believe she was 40 years old, 46. I'm transposing the years, but she has been charged. And what was interesting, well, actually, I'll leave that one off the table.